Let's take a look at the first pick for Ezad. All right. So, I mean, you can tell me when you see that on your screen, so we'll know how big the delay is. You see that first pick come through now?
Yeah, I think there's like 2 or 3 second delay, which is perfect.
All right. So that's good to know. Not too bad at all. So as predicted, Portugal there for Ezad as the first pick. I mean, like you said, I think even if you're a non-Portugal player, you're gonna have to just get that one picked and not give it to your opponent. So now the format is that we've got AgeOfKiller taking his 2 picks. I mean, you want to have a little guess and see if we can go 100% through this. Which 2 civs are you calling for AgeOfKiller's first 2 here?
So he cannot pick Portuguese because Ezad just picked them. So he could probably pick them later, but seeing his map pool, I'd say we probably going to see Spain and either Euro or Sweden there.
All right, well, let's take a look. And for those of you that don't know in the audience, the way that this works is that you cannot pick a civ that your opponent's picked until the last pick, which is a power pick, when you can pick any civ you want, whether or not your opponent's taken it. So take a look at AgeOfKiller, who's now got two picks in a row. So yeah, pretty much in line with your prediction, picking Spain first of all, and we'll go straight on to see his second pick. He's going to do 2 in a row right now, and he's gone Sweden. So we're seeing some nice early lameness here. I mean, I think these first 3 picks could have been pretty well predicted by just about everyone: Portugal, Spain, and Sweden. So going back to Aussie calling it in the chat, pretty predictable stuff. All right, going back to Ezad, where I guess now it finally does begin to get a little bit more unpredictable and interesting. Looking at the maps, any thoughts on what you'd be looking at in Ezad's position here? What kind of civs are still available and the kind of good options?
Yeah, I think Ezad is going to pick India there 100%, just because they do well on water maps and it's one of his main civs as well.
All right, let's take a look.
As for another civ, maybe Germans? Not too sure.
All right, Indian and Germany is Lekastets guess. Let's have a little look. He's gone for British and Haudenosaunee. So
okay.
Well, 0 from 2 this time after the hot start. What do you make of that? That's, I mean, two civs that both obviously can play on water, like respectively on water. What do you make of those picks?
Haudenosaunee, great pick for this map pool in particular. They just do well on water maps. They're pretty decent counter to potential Portuguese. They should do well versus Spanish logistician as well. As for British, well, they're pretty versatile and it's a good civ overall. They do well on land, they do fine on water as well. So definitely some good picks there.
Right, so we're going to go back to AgeOfKiller now. Well, I mean, you picked India and Germany for Ezad, so I mean, do you see that Breeze might look to take these 2 civs now just to stop Ezad taking them?
That'd be a good move, honestly. I don't know how much Breeze plays these 2 civs, but I think he plays a bit of Germany. For India, I really don't know, so just have to see, I guess.
We'll take a look. So India, there we go, for his first pick. And for his second one, German. So actually, he's actually taken exactly what you predicted for Ezad, which was, I mean, has he done that just as much to stop Ezad picking them as for himself? I also don't think I recall seeing very much of Killer playing Indian or German. I can't remember the last time I saw him play either civ. He's certainly, as far as my memory goes back, I don't think he's played either of those civs in this tournament. So very interesting.
Yeah, for sure. I think this is pretty small pick from AgeOfKiller. It's 2 of Ezad's best civs. So denying that is pretty good. Basically forces Ezad to probably power pick India later on.
All right, well, let's take a look now at Ezad. So Ezad, I think, just makes the 1 pick right now. We're going to find out soon enough, but you want to have a little guess what we're going to see now from this pick?
Really hard to tell. Maybe Japan. I think Ezad plays quite a bit of Japan. And they should do well on Pampa Sierras, for example. Can do fine on Florida as well.
All right, let's take a look. Well, there we go, back into form with Ezad picking Japan, and now we've got Ezad's power pick. So he makes the power pick first before AgeOfKiller. What do you reckon here? So again, in this situation, Ezad can now pick absolutely any civilization. apart from the ones he's already picked. So he can go Spain, Sweden, Indian, German, or any unpicked civilization. Are you expecting him to go for a meta pick here of Spain or Sweden?
I think Ezad would rather pick India, just because he's much comfortable with that. If I'm being correct. As for AgeOfKiller, honestly, yeah, pretty sure he's just gonna probably pick Ports because he picked 3 water maps. It wouldn't make any sense to not pick Portuguese here.
All right, let's take a look. So we've got Ezad first, going for Indian. So calling it correctly, the Lekastet, and let's see if you're 2 for 2. And you are, with AgeOfKiller going for Portugal. All right, so let's make the call. Now that you've seen this, seen the Civ draft, who is the winner of the Civ Micro here? Whose lineup do you like the look of? Has it changed your kind of? I asked you before. You said it was too difficult to call who wins this. Has seeing this changed anything?
I think it's pretty even, honestly. Breeze got the 3 best meta civs, which are Portuguese, Sweden, Spain. And Ezad got really strong meta civs as well. He's got Ports, he's got Dodeno Shoni, who does well versus meta civs. Japan, very strong overall. British as well. India. I think AgeOfKiller has the better draft overall, but we'll see. Depending on how the matchup goes during the series, because obviously this AgeOfKiller civilization are strong, but you could get kind of peaked as well.
All right, awesome. So that's out of the way. I think it's time to jump into some games. By an absolute miracle, I think we've gone through that draft without any technical hiccups, which was what I was terrified of. Now we have to get through the match without any dropped frames. So let's see if we can survive without any drop frames and get through this. So again, for those that don't know, this is a best of 7. We do now know that the winner, having watched the match last night, the winner of this match will be playing H in the semi-final. So very, very difficult semi-final, waiting for whoever wins this match. So, all right, I think it's time to jump into it. So I'm going to actually just open the old game and hope it doesn't give me any drop frames even doing that, because the game's not actually open right now. All right, let's kick that off.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
Yeah, very excited. I have to say, of all the matches so far, I think I'm particularly excited. I'm very, very excited for this one. I think it's going to be a really, really good match. They're 2 players with good, interesting styles, and it will be very, very interesting to see what happens. All right. We've got our game going. So if you just give me 1 second, let's switch the scene over to our global championship. And there we've got, with our beautiful flags up for those that don't know, AgeOfKiller from Turkey and Ezad from Germany. All right, I think it's about time to jump into game 1. If someone wants to do the predictions in the chat, definitely appreciate that. And let's open this up. All right, game 1.
Yeah, game 1 being played on Fraser River, I believe.
Yep, I think that's right. Yep, and here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game 1 of this quarterfinal of the ESOC Global Championship between Ezad and AgeOfKiller, with the winner going through to play H in the semi-finals. Spawning in the northeast of the map in blue, we've got Ezad playing the Indian civilization, and in the southwest of Fraser River, we have AgeOfKiller playing Sweden. All right, right away, let's get into it. Lekastet, what do you make of this matchup? Was this a predictable Civ selection from both guys? How do they match up against each other? And kind of what are your thoughts about this game?
So, well, Sweden is basically the best seed you can pick on this map. There's so many mines and the map is so wide as well. It's just really good for Sweden overall. As for India, it's strong Civ on this map for sure. But yeah, I'll definitely give the edge to Sweden. India does fine. Up to a certain point, but it's going to be really hard for Ezad to prevent AgeOfKiller from tolping everywhere on the map.
All right, so we've got the earlier elephants off, looking for their treasures. Just taking a little look at the chat to see if anyone's talking about drop frames, but I think we're all good because I don't see any complaints right now. So, I mean, in terms of the age one for both of these players, I mean, I guess AgeOfKiller. This is interesting. I mean, talking about the Swedish meta, that we've seen a bit of a difference of opinion playing Sweden regarding the 2-torp or the TP start. I think AgeOfKiller's open with a trading post on all of his Sweden plays. So, do you have any thoughts about the kind of the merits of opening with a trading post rather than 2-torps?
I think trading post start is good in matchups where you might have to send 2 leather cannons at some point. The trading post start basically helps you to get an extra H2 shipment during your prolonged H2, where you want to send, ironworks and blueberries, but you also want to send a shipment that could deny your opponent from sieging your torps. And well, training a few Carolines and 2 leather cannons shipment is usually what you want, especially versus India.
All right, and should we take a little look at the Indian deck here? That he's got the shipment, but he's not yet sending it. I mean, is that standard? He's not chosen to. I guess he's not sending. Or he is sending. He's distributed this. I mean, that's a pretty standard Indian opening, of course. Any thoughts on this deck? Anything unusual here, or all looking pretty standard to you?
It's looking quite standard. You have basically everything you want versus Sweden. You have 3 Siege Elephant in H4. You also have Royal Green Jacket, which is definitely a card you want to deal with Carolians in H3 or even in H4 once they get their range resist on. Elephant Combat as well. So we might see him making some Mahouts during the game. So yeah, pretty standard and everything Indy needs really.
And we'll take a little look at AgeOfKiller as well, have a look at his deck. I mean, for this one, I think even I can say that's looking pretty standard. Perhaps just the 5 hacker pellets you don't always see, but apart from that, you've got all of your standard upgrades. Nothing. I don't think anything special there. Obviously, those very, very powerful 2 H4 cards of the Infinite Mamelukes and Sphere Lifeguards. So I guess not too much to talk about there.
Well, he's got some. I don't know. I just feel like 3 Hussars might be a card like that you never really send in this matchup, and he doesn't have any gold mine card in deck, which could be a problem in the long run. But on this map, maybe he's not gonna need it because there are so many gold mines on the map.
Yeah, there's a lot of gold going on. In the meantime, Agra fort coming out there for Ezad. Roughly, I think, I mean, is that where you'd expect it? Pretty good for map control there, isn't it? I mean, he's basically got the whole of the middle of the map there to himself early. I mean, is there a possibility to go more aggressive with the Agra fort there? I don't even know if you can get it down there, but I mean, is that looking pretty standard to you?
It's really hard to get a spot to place it. If you want to go more forward, then you have to cross the river, and then you might be a bit too close to your opponent Tom Sander. So here's the most standard location to place your Agra fort. It's not super defensive, it's not super offensive, it's just, yeah.
And got some early wars going up there for Ezad as well, cutting off those choke points and standard toxic pillarless walls, of course. And in the meantime, we've got AgeOfKiller that's now started torping, I guess, both sides of the map. So pretty standard stuff there. And Ezad now walling off the choke point on the other side as well. I mean, these walls are already very, very low HP. Is that it's on 100 hit points already, that wall, because he was
it's been sieged by the Explorer, and I think Breeze managed to sneak a veil on the top right of the map as well, behind that wall. So
yep. So I guess that's not been scouted yet. We'll take a little look at Ezad's line of sight, but yeah, as predicted. So he's got no idea that. Oh well. Has he scouted that torp there? No, he's not scouted it. So I guess he's got no idea that Ezad's over there torping in the meantime. So, I mean, what are you expecting to see? So obviously we know what AgeOfKiller is going to be doing in this situation, right? His sole aim at this point is just simply to get his torps up as quickly as possible. He sent 700 wood followed by Engelsberg, which is curious because often you'll see 700 wood, 600 wood when you open with a TP. But I mean, what's India looking to do now if you're Ezad to try and basically stop this huge Swedish economy from taking off?
Yeah, so Ezad going for 700 wood as well, which is quite the economic shipment, and he's he's not training any units so far. So curious to see what he's going to do. Doesn't look like he's planning on sieging any tops just yet. But yeah, if I was India there, what I would try to do is try to secure one side of the map, and most likely going to be the left side here, just because it's more accessible, and clean all the tops there, and try to prevent Sweden from retoping that. And yeah, I mean that's usually what you want to do as India, but on this map, there's so many gold mines that even though you control half the map, Sweden can still have 200 pop of tops on only one side of the map.
Yeah, in the meantime, we've got a couple of sepoys there. I think I might have missed it, so apologies for that. But I'm gonna have to assume that AgeOfKiller lost a villager over here to these sepoys because can't find him. So unless he managed to bring it back very, very quickly, I assume that's been lost. In the meantime, you can see here that AgeOfKiller's actually they've each walled the opposite side to their own. So you've got AgeOfKiller's wall on Ezad's side and Ezad's wall on AgeOfKiller's side. Curiously enough. AgeOfKiller about to lose his Explorer, and in the meantime we've just got have a little look at see how AgeOfKiller's Torp pop's going, and we see there that's just so powerful. I mean, he's got 10 Torps already, 11th Torp. Well, that's now his 12th Torp going up, and he's already sent Engelsberg and Blueberries now coming behind it. So I mean, that Swedish economy just takes off so quickly. It's unbelievable. I mean, already he's going to be significantly outgathering his opponent. I mean, has Ezad already been too slow here to stop this Torp boom? I mean, this is the 13th Torp going up after 7 minutes. I mean, is it too slow?
It looks like it is, honestly. He went for Stagecoach great as well, but still didn't clear AgeOfKiller's training post. He's probably gonna kill this Ville.
Yeah.
The Torp will get completed. Yes, it will. So it's gonna be a pain to siege that with only 3 sepoys. Sepoys don't have the greatest siege. You
can see that going down very slow, and then he's got 2 I mean, but AgeOfKiller is going to be perfectly happy to look at the map and see 2 sepoys sieging this Torp, and you know, 3 now soon to be 5 sieging this. I mean, that's just not gonna. AgeOfKiller's not going to be threatened by that at all, is he? He's just completely booming behind that. If he loses a Torp, doesn't really matter. And now we're seeing these 8 Caroleans come, and they're gonna probably completely clean up these sepoys, which haven't got back quick enough, and that's. It looks like early trouble in terms of both eco and losing a few units now as well for Ezad. I mean, is he? I mean, is this? Am I missing something, or has Ezad fallen quite far behind early in this game?
Yeah, that's the problem. You have to kind of spread your units out with India to siege everywhere. But the thing is, you're quite open to Caroleans, trolls, and yeah, AgeOfKiller just recognized that and gonna punish Ezad for splitting his units. So yeah, killed like 5 sepoys there.
Yeah, and then I mean, he was sending these sepoys in, I think, to kind of back them up, and he's basically had to bring them back. I mean, he's now taking this fight, but AgeOfKiller's microing effectively, not being distracted by those elephants, and that's just 5 more sepoys basically donated to the cause here. Gurkha's coming in behind, but I mean, should he have shown a bit more patience there and waited for the Gurkhas to catch up rather than just lose his mass for very little?
Yeah, Elephant's doing work though. Just trying to get some stomps in. So Ezad is gonna push these Caroleans back, but Sweden 170 pop of tops, and pretty much quite uncontested so far. So looking quite good for him. I think there's a raid going on.
Yeah, we've got a little raid here
Sweden.
with Ezad taking one villager away from over here. We've got these Caroleans coming back, some Gurkhas and sepoys over here sieging this Torp, and that's just about everything we've got on the map. Those Caroleans coming back to chase away those Hussars, which are basically he's going to lose. I think he's going to lose all 3 of those.
Oh, I mean, that's painful. It's quite a big investment. You want to keep these Hussars alive because they're just so good for denying Sweden topping potential, and yeah, just losing 2 of them like this is so that was quite big.
Yeah, 2.5 basically lost there. This Torp's going to go down, but I mean, Breeze is already at max Torps, now aging up, so looks very powerful. We see a score gap of about 2,000 opening up, which isn't that significant in terms of the score, but in terms of tempo, that's Breeze now. Once you hit max Torps and age to 3, I mean, we don't see Sweden lose very often from this position. If we take a look now at Ezad, so he's sending in the 700 coin. I'm assuming he's going to be looking to also get up himself to age 3. Any thoughts about that? I mean, yeah, he's going to have to, right?
Yeah, you can't really compete with Canadians in H3 with Snaplock if you don't have H3 units yourself, and you also want Siege Elephant to deal with the 2 Falks shipments, and well, I mean, Siege Elephants are also good on patrolling on the map and shooting the torps, trying to reduce that torp count.
Yeah. In the meantime, these Carolians, I mean, I guess at this point they're just out to distract, basically, right? To raid and annoy, and well, I mean,
yeah,
Ezad's gonna have to.
Time.
I mean, already here he's created a good amount of idle time. These villagers going back into the. I mean, they could have returned to the hunt, but he's having to. He's bringing them back. I mean, he's not got that many other options for hunting as well. I mean, he's got a hunt right over here, but those villagers now taken off the hunt and put onto wood. But he's got very little food. He's going to have to hunt from somewhere.
Yeah, you really don't want to get idled as India versus Sweden, but might get a good catch here. His Kurkas being a bit far away though. Gonna get some few shots, but not the end of the world. And from there, as Sweden, you probably could go straight to industrial, but we'll see what he's doing right now.
Well, he's got these. So he's got these Falconets coming in. I mean, that might be enough if he can get the Falconets. I mean, I guess he doesn't want to go past this fort and take 3 shots on it. Is he going to be able to get a shot off there? He does get a shot off onto the Gurkhas, doing pretty good damage actually, taking out one and putting some good damage on another couple of them as well. I mean, is he going to go and try and take care of this fort now? I mean, it looks like he is. He's going to start sieging the fort.
Yeah, well, losing the aggro as Sweden is not the biggest deal, but yeah, it's gonna force a reaction. Siege Elephants are on the way, which is the correct option, but you know, India is doing the counter composition so far, but well, we don't usually see Sweden mixing any cavalry because they don't really have a cav combat card for in H3. But I mean, it's not illegal, and Sweden can easily do a cav switch, sending 5 hussars, running some, and getting the veterancy.
Yeah. In the meantime, we've seen exactly what Sweden's doing right now, which is, as you called, basically going very, very fast industrial. I mean, he's clicked up there before 12 minutes, and got infinite Mamelukes and Sphere Lifeguard. Is that the famous Swedish GG card? I mean, he's basically looks like he's got at least even on mass, maybe even like in a. Yeah, probably even on mass now that the Siege Elephants have come out, and he's going industrial behind it. I mean, that's just... It feels very, very powerful. I mean, is there anything India can do at this point to get back into it, or is this just... I mean, what does he do?
He's doing what he needs to do, which is actually pushing super hard and taking the gamble. Obviously, he's just, relying on Sweden going industrial, so he's got 2 Siege Elephant and Gurkhas to...
Oh wow, great shot there onto the Falconets. Hopefully you're not too far behind to have missed that, but managed to get... Wow! Alright, that was...
get both of them.
Wow, that was 2 Falconets for free there. I mean, that's if there's a route back into it, that might be it. So a bit of miss micro there from AgeOfKiller, losing both Falconets, I mean, completely for free. Neither Siege Elephant's taken a scratch, so... I mean, this looks like a powerful push. Is he back in the game?
I mean, it looks like a decent push because he's got the corner composition, but now Sweden is up and he's got 1k coin and he's just going to send Mamelukes, and then it's just going to be super hard for India to mass enough anti-cav to deal with that. There's so many Carrions on the field as well.
Yeah, and I mean, making a look at the composition there of the Indian player, he's not got very many sepoys out. I mean, Mamelukes, which correctly called by you, are coming in. They're just going to shred this army. They're going to absolutely just shred it. In the meantime, Hussars raiding here. But this is, I mean, you can see why this is one of the things that people complain about with Sweden. That, you know, 2 torps go down there, but torps go down, torps go up. Doesn't really affect AgeOfKiller. Once he's up, he's just in infinite Mameluke mode, and now getting his guard upgrade on the Carolians. So Mamelukes coming in, and all of a sudden we've gone from Ezad being the one kind of aggressive, controlling the tempo, and making his big push to that being AgeOfKiller that's gonna go and try and win the game here right now.
Yeah, so I don't see what you do as Ezad there. Obviously, you just can't put the pressure on anymore, because if he gets caught right now with this Carolean mass and the Mamelukes, then he's just gonna die. And the problem is he's making Sepoys, which is a good unit, but it's actually not a good unit versus Mamelukes and H4 Caroleans, because they don't kill Mamelukes fast enough.
Oh, and especially
they do poorly versus Caroleans.
Sphere Lifeguard coming in right now, which, I mean, once that comes in, the Sepoys are basically going to not even scratch the Caroleans, are they? I mean, they're going to just bounce off them. Yeah,
so, yeah, there's still 2 Falks on the field from the H-up, which are going to provide some additional siege, and a few villages going down as well.
Yeah, Mamelukes getting on top of those villages. I think 3 or 4 just been lost there, and I guess looks like we're heading towards the big confrontation here. Those Falconets are very far away from the action and not getting involved in it, so they're kind of not doing very much right now. Mamelukes getting on top of the Gurkhas. Now, Siege Elephants, again, really nice micro there from Ezad. I mean, I think this Falconet, are they going to get off a shot? Yeah, so I think... If I recall correctly, I think now AgeOfKiller's lost 4 Falconets for 0 shots. I don't think he managed to get off a shot, but
yeah, but there you can't kill the Mamelukes. The Siege Elephant are gonna go down, and next what is gonna come? More Mamelukes, 2 heavy cannons. I mean, anything would be good for Sweden.
And this is just, I mean, we're seeing a complete cleanup, aren't we? This is just. I mean, yeah. I think you can probably put your GGs in the chat at this point, because that is a total clean-up. Sweden...
I mean, it wasn't even a game. Like, it's just so one-sided, because, well, that's just Sweden at the moment.
Yeah, and that's what's difficult, isn't it? Because, I mean, to be fair, AgeOfKiller played this well, right? There was, I mean, it was a completely errorless, in the meantime, a small raid going on there, but we'll focus here. I mean, AgeOfKiller played it well, but doesn't really feel like Ezad had any options to win this game. I mean, it doesn't really feel like, you know, is it only against Sweden that you can basically not make a mistake and still lose, not just lose, but lose really, really badly? And it doesn't feel like Ezad made a mistake in this game, and he still lost very, very badly.
Yeah. I don't know what to say. Yeah, Breeze just did what he needed to do to win this game.
Yeah.
Make some Caroleans, H-up, you know, ship ironworks, ship blueberries, make tops, and go H4 type GG.
And there we have the GG. So 1-0, very, very early to AgeOfKiller. I mean, I say very early. It was a 17-minute game, but I guess it didn't feel like a 17-minute game because it felt pretty felt like it was decided for a while. This one. In chat, people are saying it's a balanced matchup. I don't know how balanced that felt. I mean, in terms of like micro, I mean, Ezad took 4 Falconets for free and still didn't get close to winning the game.
Yes, so. It just doesn't matter.
So let's update that scoreboard. I think some people will be glad to have seen the end of Sweden in this match. Personally, I like watching Sweden, but I think some people will be glad that that's them done. By the way, I did see in chat some people mentioning about me putting Ezad as German, not Peruvian. I know that he's both German and Peruvian, so if he prefers to be flagged as Peruvian, then in the future he can tell me and I'll change it. I wasn't sure, so that's just little side point there. All right. I mean, is there anything you want to look at in the post game here? Anything? I mean, most of it's going to speak for itself, I guess. If we go to the resources gathered, AgeOfKiller staying ahead. I mean, anything worth taking a look at, or is this just a case of winning the Civ Micro and on to game 2?
Yeah, it's just Sweden.
All right. Let's.
I really don't know what to say. Everybody has been doing the exact same thing with Sweden in this tournament, and it's unbeatable for 99% of the Civs. So, and especially on this map. I mean, India can do things, but on this map, just
No, no. All right. Well, let's just jump into game 2 and not try to find analysis that doesn't exist. All right, here we go.
So yeah, map number 2 is going to be one of Ezad's pick, I believe.
All right.
We'll see what he decides to go for here.
See. And oh, here we go. We've got. Oh, I like that. This is a nice map. So I'll do a little introduction, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to game 2 of this best of 7 World Championship quarterfinal between Ezad and AgeOfKiller. In the north of the map, we've got AgeOfKiller playing Spain in the color orange, and in the south of the map, in blue, we've got Ezad playing the Haudenosaunee. I think it's fair to say that these are two meta civs in terms of this map. Very, very good civilizations on this map. I think maybe especially Spain, which is just meta full stop. What are your thoughts on this matchup, on this map? What are you thinking right now?
Yeah, I mostly agree with you. Although I think Haudenosaunee is like top 3 civ to pick on this map. It's just really strong with Dock Start. You also get some yak, so you can age up relatively fast, and yeah, we'll see what Breeze decides to do here. I think the normal logistician with what things just doesn't work versus Eero Dock Start, because if Eero fast ages, then they can get canoes and just snowball from there. So we'll see. Maybe Breeze will pick a logistician deck and go for a totally standard land play instead, and just like do a massive mind game like this.
Yeah, that's a very, very aggressive port, so a dock position there from Ezad, isn't it? I mean, I've seen very, very forward docks on this map. That is very, very forward. I mean, I guess it's the right play, right, to go for that aggressive forward position dock, cut off the water supply. Seem about right to you?
Yeah, it's good to deny your opponent water for sure. But it's also a bit more exposed because it's closer to your opponent's TC. So
standard Spanish TP star, gone straight for that early training post, the one closest to his town center. If we take a look at his decks, let's see if he's gone for the. So he's not gone for the interesting. So he's not gone for the logistician deck. So that might surprise a lot of people. I mean, AgeOfKiller, I think, quite famous for going for unconventional and unexpected builds. I mean, what do you make of that? I mean, were you expecting to see? We see no infinite 300 with no infinite 300 coins, so we know he's not going logistician. Is this what you expected? It looks like a kind of more of a standard water kind of fast fortress deck. What are you thinking?
I think that's a logistician deck actually.
Oh, am I just an as well? But okay, so am I just? All right, I'm just. But would you not normally see the infinite 300 wood there?
Okay, so he's going for the advanced trading post BO with the logistician, I think. So yeah, he's just gonna make TPs in transition and probably send the gold card, I think Colbertism it's called, or whatever, and send that in transition, and yeah, get the extra resources like that. I'm not too sure actually. This deck is just weird. I feel like he could logistician, but it's I don't know. He can't play long H2 because he doesn't have crates, and most of these cards are just underwhelming, like CM.
Yeah, I'm seeing some comments, well. Some disagreement going on in chat here about whether this is a logistician play or not. I mean, it seems to me very unusual to play on Water of Spain as logistician and not have that 300 infinite 300 wood shipment. So we'll see what people are saying, but I mean, there's a few guys in chat saying that's a logistician deck and a few saying it's definitely not. We're gonna have to find it. Well, actually, we can take a look now and see he's aged up with the governor. So those of you saying in the chat this is a logistician deck, I'm looking at you, a couple of you. I'm not going to call out names. It was not a logistician build. Let's take a look. We focused on AgeOfKiller there for a while though. So let's take a look at the deck of Ezad, who's now just aged up. So very, very quick age up. Any thoughts quickly on this deck before we get into the Age 2 play?
Well, it's quite water focused. There's Sea Dance, there are a few water cards, but he also has all the land cards he needs to play versus land. So I think, Ezad won't be able to take any training post, but it's actually fine as Eero to not take a TP because you can invest on water instead.
Yeah, and so we see here now Ezad putting down the war hut in a... I mean, could he have tried to get that a little bit closer to the dog in the meantime? AgeOfKiller saved the dogs. So we'll take a look now. We're going to assume that the war dogs somehow gotten off the hook there. But they can see that the war hut going down on the sea, taking even more of that coastline now. In the meantime, AgeOfKiller completing already that whole trading post line. So it looks like we've basically... Haudenosaunee gone for the water, and AgeOfKiller has basically committed completely to land here. I mean, it doesn't look like he's doing anything to try contest water, which a lot of people don't expect, because Spain's obviously now with logisticians strong on water. I mean, I
think he will, but later on.
You think he's gonna maybe go for a dock over here and just kind of contest it militarily rather than economically in the mid game?
I think he could go for like the caravel H up and send two and just try to time all of them at the same time, because we see Haudenosaunee send 600 wood first, and he's making boats, and it doesn't look like he's going for a fast fortress at all. So I'm not sure. I feel like what Breeze is doing could be a really strong counter to what Ezad is doing.
And I mean, Breeze he's using this coin right to, or we know he's going FF. No military buildings out. Very, very defensive outpost. 700 coins. So, I mean, okay, for both players now, you've seen the opening. I mean, what's going through the... What have they indicated as their strategies? I mean, it looks like AgeOfKiller is basically going FF and to try and show some kind of mid-game military dominance. I mean, what are your thoughts? I mean, what's the kind of strategic positions of both players here?
I feel like if Breeze Brothers go for a quick water push with like 2 Vales and the HF as well, and also make some land units to push the dogs, I think Ezad is going to be in big trouble to hold that. And the entire strategy of Ezad relies on basically holding the water and not getting the TPs instead.
I have to just say, I just think Breeze is like a very... this is why I think Breeze is a very talented player, right? He seems to always come up with, at least in this tournament, stuff that people weren't expecting. This is a deck that, like, I can see in chat that people weren't expecting. Kind of very, very smart strategies. He's now... I love this as well. He's sending the 2 caravels simultaneously to aging, so he's going to distract and slow down his opponent and cause some defenses enough on water. And I guess Ezad might not even... Well, I mean, he will know because he's very good himself that his opponent's aging behind it, but looks very strong. In the meantime, we've got these tomahawks coming in, but looks like they're going to be able to make a very limited impact. They're going to be able to kill that one villager, but with the outpost right there, I think that's going to be all they can achieve, right?
Yeah, and two caravels are starting to... Yeah, he's going to get a village for Breeze efforts, but behind that, not sure if he's going to get a lot done. Dog firing, a canoe being trained as well. And yeah, we'll see, because these 2 caravels could be really annoying for Ezad to deal with, but he's got a second dog close to his wall hut, so probably going to be alright. And he's got 3 dogs actually overall, so
yeah,
it's going super heavy on water, and it's basically going to be its win condition here.
Yeah, I mean, so... I mean, does AgeOfKiller even try and really contest water at this point, or does he just try to dominate land and basically... I mean, Ezad looks so strong on water already with those 3 docks and war hut out. I don't think he's even lost 1 fishing boat there, to be honest. So...
I'm not sure what AgeOfKiller is going to do after that, because he didn't send 5 villagers, so his land eco is pretty bad. He's got Stagecoach though, so actually a good income, but pretty sure we're gonna see Breeze doing something about the water really soon. More than 2 caravels, probably a frigate, maybe 2 falconets first, to try to push these docks. And well, what is Ezad doing? Is he close to Age at all, or is he still playing H2 so far?
So he is... Well, he doesn't look close to Age at all. He looks like he's committed to an H2 agenda here, so he's not sending any resource shipments, and he's got... I mean, maybe he's starting to micro now for the Age, but it's going to take him a little while to get there. In the meantime, got these caravels coming in at the same time as the pikes.
Yeah, Breeze 3 doesn't want to lose these warships, but Ezad should really try to kill that low HP caravel, because Well, it's not a massive deal, but then if frigate come next, then and you know it's gonna be really hard to hold these warships.
Yeah, he's gonna try and take down this dock right now, but the canoe's popping out, and yeah, he's gonna bring them back. In the meantime, we've got falconets making their way to join. That's quite a lot of pressure on the land now. He's got, you know, a bunch of pikes with the falconets. Probably going to time it with those caravels, although one of the caravels is on very, very low hit points, as you pointed out. And here we go. If you want to call this little fight.
Yeah. Now, I mean, Ezad was holding on till now, but falconets are gonna be quite a big threat for H2 Iroquois. I mean, Haudenosaunee to deal with. So he's gonna lose this dog for sure. But yeah.
And now the frigate popping as well, and wow, this suddenly looks very overwhelming. One caravel's down, but I think we've lost like 6 or 7 fishing boats during all of this. A frigate in the middle of it, one dock goes down, and I mean, I have to say, you called this very, very early that gonna go for an FF and then a big push on water, like behind those fortress age techs, and phew, that's what's happening. This is looks like a very, very significant push. I mean, is this a game-winning push? Is this as powerful as it looks?
It really is, because Ezad is aging right now, but he doesn't have access to fast age, so it's gonna take him at least another 40 seconds before he can be fortress, and all he can train on water so far are canoes, which are just not good versus falconets and not good versus frigate either.
And is this the last dock that's about to... We're about to basically have the entire fishing economy exposed. This is the last dock, and that frigate's just going to chase down, I mean, the remaining water eco, and just like that, I mean, there isn't a water eco anymore. I mean, Haudenosaunee went entirely onto for a water eco, and that's it. I mean, I think that the caravel and the frigate just basically go in there and shred. I mean, is there anything Ezad can do from this point to get back in the game? I mean, he suddenly feels very far behind. I mean, what's the reply here? We've got a little raid going on here, which I'll show you. That village is going to go down, but I don't want to kind of focus away too much from the part of the game that matters, which is this war hut going down. I mean, what does Ezad do here?
Yeah, he's just gonna lose all his deep presence, and I mean, behind that, Spain is on 3 TPs. He's still got the 2 Falks, which are really scary for Haudenosaunee to deal with, and yeah, so Breeze cleaned the water, and now he's gonna push land, which is pretty logical. He's got a lot of siege potential as well, so.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot. How many pikes does he have there, actually? He's got 16 pikes. I mean, that TC is going to drop really quick. 2 villages just dropped like that. Water, I mean, we don't need to look at the water to know what's happening. It's been totally cleaned up. I mean, how long is this TC going to do? The betting odds under over are 30 seconds. I think I'm not sure that this TC makes it to 11:30, although the pikes are actually taking down the longhouses instead of the TC, but
I think it's good as well. I'm trying to kill as many houses as possible to try to pop the Haudenosaunee player. 5 Musket Rider are gonna pop, but there is more than enough infantry to cover the falconets, and yeah, it's just gonna be really hard for Ezad to.
He's got those forest prowlers as well. The market's being sieged in the north, but I don't think we need to see that. I mean, it looks like that's just an APM issue. I don't think Ezad's meaning to. Yeah, he's already putting back. There's a few skirmishers out dealing with that. I mean, it's AgeOfKiller's all over this. I think sometimes the score doesn't reflect the reality of the game. I think in this situation it does. A big score gap now opening up, which feels pretty much like a good summon situation. That town center is dropping right now, and villagers being cleaned up. Wow.
Yeah, it's going down for sure, and yeah. Now it's down, more forest prowlers are gonna pop, but yeah, I don't know. Even if Ezad holds that land push, and he probably will, because forest prowlers are so strong versus pikes and H2 musketeers, but he's losing quite a lot of villagers. There's still 1 Falk alive. Musket Riders are gonna chase that. But yeah, what's the follow-up now? Spain is gonna get 5 Lancers on the field, and there's no more Musket Riders. I don't even think Ezad got a stable.
Yeah, if we take a look at that, I want to see what look at wow, So the villager count there for the Haudenosaunee is 22. In the meantime, Killer's got 25 villagers and a growing water economy and stagecoach TP line. So that's a pretty dramatic economic difference. The score gap has closed to 3,000, but I mean, even with those forest prowlers on the field, I mean, is there any way to close that kind of economic gap? It just feels huge.
Yeah, probably not. And it's gonna get worse and worse for Ezad because he lost his stun center and Breeze is producing villagers and fishing boats at the same time. And now turning some lancers, he's got 5 on the way. There's no anti-cap for Ezad, and I wouldn't be surprised if he calls GG when he sees the lancers.
Yeah, he managed to do a good job there. He's snaring the lancers, but it just doesn't matter. They're now on top of the forest prowlers and they're going to just drop. Look how quickly they're dropping. They're just dropping like flies to these lancers. I mean, very, very quick. And in the background, you can hear the noise of those Spanish fishing boats being trained. He's now got a dock of his own, which he's training fishing boats from now that he's got total water dominance. And, I mean, he's building a new town centre now, Ezad, but 29 to 22 villagers and a huge economic difference as well. And he's still not training any anti-cav, so those forest prowlers are just about to all go down as well. Yeah. Well,
yeah, and he tried to send the crates in the back of it just to, you know, rebuild the stun center, get some infrastructures and more units overall. But 5 Tomahawks are gonna save the day. I believe it's the H2 big button, but yeah, AgeOfKiller still being quite far ahead there.
Yeah, and these are just you know, Age 2 Tomahawks as well. They're not upgraded against. I mean, even they counter the Lancers, but AgeOfKiller is happy.
They're really strong versus cavalry in melee, but yeah, Lancers are just another story.
Yeah, I mean, I think Killer's happy he can basically just trade in as long as he wants at this point. He doesn't even need his trades to be even. And there we go. Ezad calling the GG. I mean, that looked like an incredibly polished performance from AgeOfKiller. Like very, very on point and showing some amazing form. I mean, what do you make of that game?
Yeah, it's what he did is a really strong counterplay to the Hero Water start with the fast stage. It just makes it impossible for Haudenosaunee to age up the fortress in time to save his water eco and get these powerful H3 units that can deal with the 2 Falconets shipments as well. And yep.
I mean, he's looking, for me, Killer, I mean, he's looking on form right now as good as anyone in the tournament. I think he's playing like, people will say, I mean, playing lame civs and whatever, but the meta is the meta, right? You've got to just, it is what it is. You can't change it, and he's playing it very well. And I think a lot of people would have been surprised not to see Logistician, which has become the kind of standard Spanish water play, but he went for something a little bit different there. And I mean, you actually called it really, really accurately at the beginning, that big military H3 push. Yeah.
The big mistake from Ezad was using the fast stage. I think if Ezad clicked on an AgeOfKiller deck and you see no schooners, then you already have a good indication that Spain is just not gonna water boom. Because if you go Logistician, you need schooners. It's just such a good card. You get your water eco rolling, and you also get the resources from the shipment. So yeah, just fast staging is just basically giving up any hopes on going for fast fortress play, which is what actually you want versus a standard Spain FF. So
yeah,
big mind game from AgeOfKiller and solid adaptation to the fast stage as well.
Yeah, and I think all of these statistics basically speak for themselves there. I mean, that they tell the story very well of the match, don't they? Because you've got Ezad there that's not even kind of thought about touching any kind of military apart from some Tomahawks for raiding until like the 11-minute mark. And at the same time, just that big military push from AgeOfKiller that was very effective. And the resources really tell the same story, that you've got Ezad in the early game pulling away on eco as he booms on water, and there, I mean, just AgeOfKiller basically completely turning off the tap of that eco and catching up. All right, wow. So amazing stuff. And I guess we'll get into game 3, but I better update that score. And if someone in the chat wants to update the predictions, that would definitely be appreciated. So, AgeOfKiller, that's score 1, going up to 2-0. So, a convincing early lead. Gonna have to see Ezad show some real metal to come back from this. All right, are you ready to jump into game 3, Lecastet?
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm just gonna quickly fill my bottle of water. I'll be right back in a second.
All right, no problem. So we'll give Lecastet a second. How's everyone doing in the chat? Enjoying this match? Is it confounding your expectations of the match? Two very good players. Definitely nowhere near over yet, of course. I mean, this could easily go 7 games. I mean, all right. I'm going to jump into game 3. I can hear Lecastet's footsteps in the background, and gonna get into this.
All right, I'm back.
Excellent. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game 3 that looks to be on Florida between Ezad and AgeOfKiller in this best of 7 series in the quarterfinal of the ESOC Global Championship, with the winner going through to play H next weekend in the semi-finals. Spawning in the north of the map in blue, we've got Ezad playing as Brits. And in the south of the map in orange, we've got AgeOfKiller playing Germany. All right,
Germany.
Over to you. What do you? I mean, this certainly is a map, I think, more well known for Brit, being a pretty decent water map. Although you don't always see much water play on Florida, but quite a map that you see quite a lot of Brits on. Germany are more, I think, a rarer counter. What do you reckon? Is this a matchup that you expected to see? What do you think about this one?
Pretty sure it's British favored on this map. It's just such a good Brit map. There's a lot of hunt overall, and you could do the TP starts. You also have a free market. So usually the Virginia company is the go-to build on this map, but Ezad is going for 2 manas instead. So we'll see. In Breeze, on the other hand, you went for trading the coin you get from your crate start and using the free market to actually buy wood and drop a trading post instead, which is also really strong as Germany.
Okay, so that's interesting. Yeah, I also did expect to see Brit just open with the 1 mana and the TP and into Virginia company. So not going to see that. Bless you.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. And in the meantime, we saw Ezad taking out 75 wood treasure. Really nice treasure as Brits on this map. Take a look at both decks. See if there's anything that stands out from here. Have a little look at Ezad's deck. Pretty typically starting with those 2 settler wagons. Got a bit of water going on here, including advanced dock, which I don't see that much of. What do you anything standing out to you here?
Not really. It's pretty standard German C deck. Advanced stock is quite a curious choice, because usually you don't really make fishing boats as Germans, but yeah, advanced artillery as well. So maybe we'll see some mortars action. No 7 scum, no 8 Uran, so.
And we'll take a look at Ezad's deck as well then. I mean, he's got Virginia company in there, but he's obviously not gonna send it now that he's built the two manas. Pretty standard, right? No, he's not even got any. Would you have liked to see from Britain here just at least, like, even 2 caravels, just some kind of defensive water shipment?
Yeah, it's quite unlikely that you have to send caravels versus German if you don't water boom yourself. I mean, but on this map there are actually so many hunts near the coast that, you know, if you're stuck in H2 and you're getting under pressure, and, you know, just like a few water cards could be good to just hold these precious hunts for British.
Yeah, so we've got, in the meantime, the Ezad's putting down his 3rd mana house, taking advantage of the free market to send Gangsaw, which is, I mean, you've got the free market, may as well use it. And Trying to take a look now down at AgeOfKiller and the Germans to see if we can find any clues so far as to what either player is going to look to be kind of to set out for in terms of their strategy of this game. Pretty hard to see yet. We've got some villagers all the way down here from Ezad, going to be building some manors for line of sight all the way around the map, it looks like, which is obviously very typical. Going to send 700 wood and just start manoring everywhere. I mean, I guess the British strategy seems to play itself a little bit more, which is, you know, just obviously wants to just get as many manors up as quick as possible and boom. But what about, I mean, AgeOfKiller? What's the counter to Brits on this map? In the meantime, I'm seeing Germany's gone water. I'm sorry that I missed that. That's totally on me. But he sent the settler wagon, and he's actually AgeOfKiller's going for a. I mean, he had a water deck, but that's just so unusual to see Germany picked and going for water. I mean, explain what's happening.
Could just be an adaptation to seeing as a deck without any warship scout, any water option, and I mean, German water is pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie, I've tried several times, it just doesn't work. But if the opponent just doesn't do anything about the water, then, you know, it'd be good to have 2 fishing boats gathering for you.
I mean, he is going to have it uncontested, isn't he? Because Ezad's he's not even got 2 caravels in his deck. He's not going to build a dock, so he might. I mean, he probably will scout that. He's now building his barracks to defend that right next to the dock. So quite advanced. What I find curious there, maybe you can explain it. I mean, because this is such an unusual
barracks
move
on the shore. What is this?
it's yeah. Can you explain this? Because I would have thought try to explain the logic of Breeze here, because I'm thinking if I'm Breeze, right, me not being a particularly talented player, if I'm Breeze and I'm going to go on water as Germany, I'm putting my dock here and hoping it doesn't get scouted because it's such a rare and unusual play, and so likely my opponent will not possibly think that I'm playing on water as Germany. But Breeze is telegraphing it. I mean, he's stuck it right in the middle of the map. His barracks right in the middle of the map. I mean, tell us what's happening. We'll take a little look here at Ezad's line of sight. I mean, I'm assuming he's seen this, but I'm wrong. He's not. He's actually not scouted it, even though it's in the middle of the map.
He's gonna know something is up when he's gonna see 5 crossbows showing out of nowhere on the right side of the map.
Yeah, and they've just gone into his line of sight right now. We're on Ezad's line of sight. They've just obviously he's got those manners right there, so they've walked right in. Every game with a crossbow raid, every game with Breeze just feels so unusual. I mean, what's happening?
I'm concerned for Ezad. I don't know. I just feel like Breeze is trolling at this point. But Ezad, he's blindly making pikes. He didn't scout anything. He doesn't know about the water. He doesn't know what Germany opened with. So usually you make pikes when you expect cavalry, and you know, try to make as many manors as possible. But yeah, not too sure. Still, it's gonna take a while before Germany gets a relevant water economy. So yeah, I'd still rather be British in this position, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, he got a really nice. Ezad actually managed to get a really nice pop on those pikes, right on top of the crossbows. So he didn't actually. I mean, he barely lost a pike. Killer didn't manage to kite with them at all. They really dropped right on top of them. And now, is he going to get the snare on those cav? He is. Both of those cav are going to drop to these pikes, or one and a half cav drop to those pikes.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Germany is more sparsive, so you can just more some more Ulans.
Yeah, they're. I guess it looks like they're going to trade pretty evenly there. We'll go back to AgeOfKiller's perspective. He's got loads of pikes on, but he's doing a good job of getting them on. I mean, that's not the fight you want to be taking as crossbows. I mean, I think those crossbows
is just not kiting at all, so he's going to lose all his bows to pikemen.
Yeah, those crossbowmen kind of were born and died into the life of melee. I don't think they managed to get off a shot of their crossbows, just poked them into their opponents. And now these AgeOfKillers, I tell you what, he's losing a lot of units for very minimal gain here, isn't he? He's lost a couple of cav. He's lost. I mean, I think how many crossbows has he lost now? Like 12 crossbows, maybe. In the meantime, these pikes have managed to get on top of these Ulans here as well. So really on the ball play from Ezad, managing to fend off everything. And as you were saying earlier, I mean, this water economy, it's not that significant, is it? There's only...
Nah, it's not. He's just getting the units right now. It's a good addition to his economy for sure, but 8 boats without any rendering plant is not something out of control just yet. But you know, if he gets more in the future, then why not? He's going to the fortress age now, so toxic semi-FF coming in from Breeze.
Toxic semi-FF from the head of the anti-toxic semi-FF lobby, so that's curious. Ezad, how is his mana pop doing? It's doing pretty good. 17 mana's up, so 43 villages. I mean, 43 against 29, and 8 of those 29 are fishing boats. So pretty strong economic stuff from Ezad.
Yeah, for sure. 180 mana pop, 43 villages. Pretty solid economy so far. We'll see what he does. He looks like he's sending coin for an age up. Does he have a stable on the field? Could be mixing some hussars, but eventually I think he's just gonna go to the fortress age, which is a really strong play here. And hopefully he ages with Caravel, but I'm still pretty confident that he didn't scout Breeze water economy.
Let's take a look. No, oh, he's scouted this settler wagon, which is going to go down. He's actually, I think he's just about to scout the water economy any second. I mean, that settler wagon basically gives it away, right? And he's found
the pike skilling the settler wagon is such an Ezad thing. He loves these mini units, and he has sick pike raid. He's gonna see the barracks. So
yeah, it's just coming to
for the siege. It's quite risky though, because skirmisher could pop, and skirmishers are much stronger.
Well, they have. So you've called that really on time, because I think that they've just popped there, the skirmishers, and they're now picking off pikes really quickly. Nice micro, but he manages to. I tell you what, he took down the barracks, and I think he only lost like 3 or 4 pikes.
Yeah, I think that's a good trade for Ezad.
Yeah, I'd agree. And curious, the AgeOfKiller now going into a lot of veteran Ulans, but the only units that Ezad seems to have are pikes. So, I mean, he's going to start raiding hard.
Breeze is going for the GG easy build order, which is 3 settler wagons, 700 wood, 700 coin, 9 Ulan, and type GG. But yeah, probably not going to do well versus pikes.
No, it's, yeah, the German GG play indeed, but I mean, literally, the only units that Ezad is training are pikes. Like, look, he's still got only pikes.
Hussars now.
Now he's training, yeah, that's,
I think definitely what he needs.
That's his first batch, so up until this point, he's gone pure Hussar. He's got 20 pikes there, another batch training, so lots and lots of pikes, but now he's got the Hussars coming out, which are going to deal with those skirmishes as well, so... Yeah, it looks like Ezad's...
Hussar, it's actually really good versus Mulan.
Yeah, it should be really powerful, right? And he's needs to be careful here, AgeOfKiller, because if he gets snared, he's going to lose so many of those Ulans. Yeah. It looks like Ezad's managed to get back into this. He looks... definitely looks to be in a stronger position in this game than any game up until this point. I mean, do you like Ezad's position here?
Yeah, he should get a really good trade from there. Breeze is trying his best to snipe as many pikemen as possible, but he has to sack his skirmishers, because otherwise, if his Ulan get caught, it's gonna be big trouble.
In the meantime, you called it correctly, by the way. Sorry to cut you off, because Ezad did indeed age with the Caravel, so that's now going to start really pissing off Killer on the water. Going to start trying to get a couple of those fishing boats off.
Yeah, it's just a good age up option. You get 400 wood as well, so you can upgrade your units with that or drop a town center. And having that Caravel, if you keep it alive for a long time, then it just forces basically Germans to react to that. So either train 1 Caravel on their own, which is the correct answer, or actually send a water shipment such as 1 frigate, but which is big overinvestment for only a Caravel.
Yeah, so, I mean, AgeOfKiller now just dancing around the map, but Ezad feels like he's in a very kind of controlled position. He's not panicking at all here. Really nice composition. getting veterancy now for, I guess he's gone for the Hussar and the Pike veterancy here.
That Huss with Pike.
Yeah.
Shipping 8 villages as well. And yeah, Breeze is trying to be active on the map, but well, see, he's only got 3 war wagons, and it's going to be really hard to micro versus veteran Hussars and pikemen.
It's quite rare these days you get to even see the veteran pikes. They look pretty good, don't they? With the look at that silver with the there's nice helps. You don't see many veteran pikes. Anyway, that settler wagon going down there to Ezad, and Ezad making a bit of a push here, and I mean,
yeah, 2 settler wagon dead so far.
Yeah, which is obviously very powerful. And to these pikes, look how quick these houses are going to drop. Actually, take a look at. I mean, is AgeOfKiller going to get? He's 2 of these go down, and he's going to be housed. He's housed already now. AgeOfKiller. He is sending in the frigate, but he's housed. Yeah. He's not going to be able to train any units. Are we going to see like a base swap here? I mean, there's no siege.
It could be. Well, yeah. Big counter push from Breeze. Gonna try to kill some villages, but I think Ezad got some dragoons in queue, so even just 5 goons with good kiting, they can deal a lot of damage to the Ulans, which is basically 90% of Breeze composition here. Yeah,
I'm trying to like switch between both these views and show the audience everything. I mean, the reality is that AgeOfKiller's idling Ezad like nicely, but he's got just no siege here at all. A militiaman pop from AgeOfKiller, but it's not going to cause Ezad to actually do anything. Ezad sending back his cav, but the town center's dropping. There are no villagers inside. Here are all of the settler wagons for AgeOfKiller. They're up there. There were 0 villagers inside that town center, so he preemptively managed to get all of them back, which is pretty nice. That he didn't lose somehow a single villager there. 40 villagers for Germany to 60 for Ezad. But he's going to get...
Some Hussars popping from the town center, some pikemen, some dragoons, and big Hussar batch coming back from the previous base raid, and Breeze is going to decide to fight that, and with the villages tanking and the dragoons firing the Ulans, that's just going to be a cleanup for British.
Yeah, and it is a cleanup, isn't it? And all while this is happening, Ezad's just totally shredding his base. I'm still a little bit in shock that somehow AgeOfKiller, I'm going to look at the graph after, but I think he lost 0 villagers during that. His settlers are here and over here in the north, but he had 0 in his town center, but it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter, is it? I mean, look at the massive Ezad here, and in the meantime, the entire...
I mean, you can't really do an equal war versus British because your units are so much weaker as Germans and so much harder to control as well. And well, that's basically what happened there. Yeah, just Ezad winning every fight, and he's got more eco than Germans behind that as well.
And yeah, I mean, I guess we're talking about how long is AgeOfKiller going to cockroach at this point, because
I mean, he's got 5 war wagons in queue and Black Riders on the way, which explains why his score is so bad, but his score is actually gonna jump by like 60 points when he gets all these units on the field. But yeah, losing a lot of infrastructure, so he's gonna get popped as well.
Yeah, I mean, he now is popped, and it looks pretty forlorn. Black Riders, yeah, on the way, but I tell you what, if AgeOfKiller comes back from this point, it will be one of the comebacks for the ages. That's for sure. In the meantime, Ezad now rage. Oh, he's managed to get on top of all of these villages over here, and that villager population's about to start dwindling very, very quickly with the Hussars shredding those settler wagons. War wagons being sent to defend, but too late.
And like British is on 60 vills now, he's on 2 town center as well, and yeah.
And here we're really experiencing the APM of Le Castet in the chat at the same time as commentating. More than I can handle, that's for sure. Definitely an OP move over there.
That's the privilege of being the co-caster. I can, I don't have to do all the camera work, so I can just type on the chat.
You gotta love it. And in the meantime, Ezad's just cleaning up. As you predicted, that score gap did close with the Black Riders popping. The Black Riders are over there, but I mean, I guess the one thing, I mean, he is still on water at AgeOfKiller. He's built like, look, he's building a whole new base up the coastline here, which is quite nice.
Yeah, he's gonna try to total on water now, but I don't know. All his land presence is basically gone. His war wagons are gonna die. He's trying to like buy time with Black Riders, but you have to keep in mind it's Germany water. It's not like Port water where you get rendering plant and whale oil. It doesn't have all these upgrade index, so even though he's got uncontested water, it's just not as good as other civs.
Yeah, Black Riders are getting into the action now, but I think those are like the only units that AgeOfKiller actually has at this point on the map. He's not got any other military production. No, he has got, so he's got a stable up. He's training, and he is training training some war wagons. Now sending 8 skirmishers, but he's lost already a couple of those Black Riders now.
Yeah, looking quite good for Ezad overall. Yeah, and as British, if you can like secure all these natural resources, you just can have a good time because you can keep booming, taking your units, getting pretty strong units as well. And yeah, it looks like an ASAM game where you go Hussar and Pickies, and yeah, just pretty good versus German units overall.
Yeah, Ezad seemed to play this one really, really well. I mean, he committed up to the 10-minute mark of kind of going pure pike, and it worked really, really well. I mean, it could have backfired, but it didn't. Maybe we would have liked to see more kiting in the early game from Breeze, but it wasn't to be. I mean, he has got 35 villagers back. His infrastructure's come back a bit. He's got houses up. He's not popped anymore. I guess doesn't have to necessarily be over. He's still having a go at it. How the Vilpop's doing? 81 villagers. That's
yeah. Now longbows, which is just the perfect hunter versus Skirmal wagons, and yeah, I mean, Priest needed either earlier Black Riders or mix some double sonars versus Calf Pike.
And yeah, I mean, sometimes I find you get to the point of these games, there's not too much commentary to add. I think probably speaks to itself what's happening here, which is kind of cockroaching a little bit, trying to get back in the game, but with 35 against 83 vills. You got Yeoman coming in right now for Ezad. Definitely like that shipment, giving loads and loads of range to those longbows. And there we go. AgeOfKiller is finally calling the GG. Really well played that game from Ezad. Any kind of particular thoughts about this? I mean, again, you called it pretty well. I mean, I think you liked Ezad from the beginning of this one. You kind of thought it would work out well, and it did.
I mean, this German water thing just doesn't work. This is British, especially on this map. So yeah, it's just a BO loss from AgeOfKiller. Usually you want tempo versus British, and you want to deny resources, and going eco war just doesn't work in my opinion.
Yeah, you said at the very beginning, you said AgeOfKiller, we went for the kind of weird water play, and I think your words were German water play just doesn't work, and
yes,
and it didn't.
Not as good as
and it didn't work. It didn't work. AgeOfKiller very, very committed. We're learning in this new meta and in this tournament, very, very committed to water, and we've seen a huge amount of Ezad's water. All right. Anything in the post game you want to take a look at here? So, I mean, I found in these games so far, it's been quite. We know what these post games are going to look like. The AgeOfKiller, I mean, even with the fishing boats, never got anywhere close to the British villagers, and never got anywhere close to the British eco. I mean, straight away from that 9-minute mark, just completely took off and just never looked like catching up. Look at that. I mean, from that 15-minute mark, when Ezad started that real kind of late boom, look at that. That's just crazy, that resource difference.
Yeah, just British taking off after sending 8 villagers and, like securing the map, heading town centers.
All right. Well, let's update that score. If one of the mods want to take care of the predictions, would appreciate that. And we'll give Ezad 1. So Ezad very much back in this game now. Remember, it's a best of 7, sorry. So 4 victories needed to take this match. Looks like we're guaranteeing ourselves at least a moderately long stream now. So we've got at least 2 more games, so we can make ourselves comfortable. And I guess let's just jump straight into game 4 then.
Yeah. Could be the comeback time for Ezad, but Breeze will pick his map, and he will pick his civilization as well.
So in other words, Lekastet saying, get ready to see lots and lots of blue wet stuff. I think we can expect to be seeing. I can't remember. Was Dhaka in this map pool? I think it was, right? Yeah. So
yeah, Dhaka, Alaska, and
all right, so I can tell you before opening, well, we've seen Manchuria, so before opening this, I think we can guarantee you we're about to see Alaska or Dhaka. Let's see if we're right.
Actually, no, it's game 4, so it's the admin.
Oh, sorry, it's the admin pick is Colorado. Oh, that was such a. You managed to call it just before it loaded. That was a noob casting moment from me there. I forget that. Sorry, the 4th map. All right, audience. For those of you that didn't know, right? For those of you that didn't know, the 4th map is the admin's choice, which Lekastet did manage to remember in time, and I did not. So the players did not pick this match. This was one that was already pre-written in and had to be Colorado. So with that, welcome to Colorado for game 4 of this best of 7 series between AgeOfKiller and Ezad in the quarterfinals of the ESOC Global Championship, spawning on Colorado in the west of the map in orange. We have AgeOfKiller. In the east of the map in blue, we've got Ezad playing the Japanese. And maybe would have expected to see AgeOfKiller save Portugal for a water map later in this competition, because obviously very, very, very strong civilization on Alaska in particular. What do you reckon? What are your thoughts on the Civ micro here?
It's really a curious choice from Breeze to go for Portuguese on land, especially versus Japan. But I mean, it's not like ports are weak on land either. They're really strong, and 1010 ATP is also a thing on this map. So we'll see how that goes. And
well, yeah, what was his logic here? I mean, this is a map where we see so much. We see a lot of Japan, of course. We see a lot of Sweden. We see Brits on this map quite a lot. Dutch on this map. You just very rarely see Portugal on this map. I mean, especially as we've probably got more water maps to come. I mean, what would have been going through Breeze's mind here? What's the rationale for choosing Portugal now?
Well, maybe he's thinking, well, if I lose with boats now, I can still pick them on the water matches after, you know? But yeah, I don't know. Maybe he just wants to play his main civ at this point in the series at 2-1. It could be one of the reasons.
Yeah, in the meantime, he's sending ATP, so, I mean, and yeah, he's gone for that 1010. So, Lekastet, I mean, on a very, very high prediction percentage right now during this series, calling the 1010 ATP, which is exactly what we're seeing. Let's give Ezad a little bit of screen time right now and talk about what he's doing. Have a little look at his deck here. I don't know if you see anything in this deck that stands out to you, or it looks pretty standard. Yeah,
it's pretty standard. He's just missing one H3 card. I don't even know which one, honestly, but yeah, he's got 2 vehicles. He's got Heavenly Kami as well, and he's got Colonial Militia, so he's got several options there.
And so, I mean, Portugal. I mean, is there anything? I mean, we basically know what both players are going to go for here now. That, I mean, we know that Japan's obviously just going to go into a hard shrine boom, and AgeOfKiller now has to control at least 3 of these trading posts now that he's invested in ATP. I mean, any kind of insights into this game about what both players are going to look to do? Kind of any thoughts on the win conditions for this game, and you know, based on what we're going to see.
I think ports will have the upper hand on like dictating the tempo early on because they're going 10-10, so they're gonna be up way before Japan. So we'll see what he decides to do. Usually with this ATP 10-10, you see forward TC, you see also an early forward barracks, and try to put the pressure on siege some shrine, train some crossbows to poke under the Japanese TC and try to prevent Japan from booming super hard. And which is a possibility. We could also see some kind of ATP FF, but I think this would be a bit weaker.
In the meantime, we've got Jezebel, aka Noel, coming in for the second month with the sub. Thank you very much. Always great to be doing this tournament with ESOC. I think we've had an amazing tournament so far. Thanks very much for I'm glad that you're here watching. Yeah, so we've got the second TC now going for AgeOfKiller. Very, very aggressive positioning. Not sure he can get that too much closer to Ezad's town center. I mean, that's basically...
Probably not, yeah.
I think that's pretty much on the edge. It's pretty rare you get to see opposition TCs in the same screen, but there you have it. So very, very close. But, I mean, I like that position. I mean, it seems very, very strong for map control. Already cutting off this hunt from his opponent and protecting that... that TP's actually just changed the position there and put it back a little bit further back, but not much. And I tell you what, this is a map where it feels like maybe it matters less for Ezad playing as Japan with the food from the shrines, but it can be very easy. We've seen it in this tournament quite a lot. It can be very, very easy to get cut off from your hunts with these choke points, and when that happens, it's very, very awkward trying to kind of do it. I mean, obviously for Japan that's less of an issue, but certainly going to be good for Breeze to have all of this, all of these hunts under his control.
Yeah, great. As you mentioned, it's a really strong TC placement. You can get TC fire. It's protecting your advanced trading post as well, so even more firepower.
In the meantime, we've got AgeOfKiller taking out really nice treasure. Got the 120 XP down here. Sending the 8 crossbowmen as his first shipment from the town center. I mean, so they're going to pop out from the advanced TC. So, I mean, AgeOfKiller's going it's a pretty aggressive early shipment, right? Going straight for the crossbows.
Yeah, so it's kind of a new thing that we've seen with ports recently. Is also you can go like 10-10 ATP, control the map, and just send military shipments because you get so much XP. Basically due to your trading post, plus the fact that you also get 100 XP from building a town center, your second town center. So yeah, shipping 8 bows just to put some pressure on force Portuguese to train some units. Japan, sorry.
Yeah, and it's basically like, just to illustrate what you're saying, we've got, you know, he sent the shipments of the 8 crossbows already, and he's got 700 coin on the way, and he's got another shipment already queued. So yeah, I mean, it just didn't slow his tempo at all economically, really, did it, those crossbows? It's just annoying for Ezad, forces him to train those Yumi archers, which he's done, and slow him down. Any thoughts about the consulate here? What's Ezad gonna look to do? What's his kind of obvious direction in this game?
So yeah, Japanese consulate, just to get some clubs, maybe get some siege potential with that as well, and early defensive potential as well. But yeah, not too sure what he can get done. He could actually siege these barracks, but it's a bit risky to do so. Breeze is going coin again in the back of it. Got steel traps on the way, but yeah, it's gonna take a little while before the Portuguese eco gets rolling. He's only on 18 wheels right now, and Japanese eco is obviously very strong, and he managed to steal one of the training posts as well. So
yeah, so he's got that. Yeah, he's got that stagecoach TP to himself. I mean, now he's got a lot of vills on food after sending steel traps, and now the coin behind. Are you reckoning we're going to see an Age 2 agenda, or is he going to be trying to use this to get? Well, I mean, there we go. I've asked you the question, and straight away we're seeing he's queuing 6 villagers and training musks. So I mean, he's basically
I don't think you can break that in H2 just because seeing colonial militia is a thing. So as Japan, I think you want to go H3 and get flaming arrows to get some additional siege, but I might be wrong there. I mean, not too sure.
It doesn't look like he's... I mean, if he is macroing from it, he's certainly not getting very close. I mean, neither player look like they're really kind of well, I take that back. AgeOfKiller is macroing to get up, so he's now got all of his trading posts on food, and he's got the gold, and he's surely about to click up, so he's going to get up long before Ezad, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Japan is on really low shrine count, though.
Let's take a little look. Yes, you're right. Just the 6 shrines. That's really...
Oh, wow. That's really not a lot.
Really not a lot. And let's have a look. AgeOfKiller has indeed clicked up. And I tell you what, Ezad's absolutely nowhere close to clicking up at all. It looks like he's in an Age 2 agenda, but...
Yeah, I think Japan is actually in not such a great spot. He's mixing Garus because he feels like he wants to push, but if there are some hussars on the field for the Portuguese player, then things could go wrong quite quickly. But yeah, Reese is just gonna get to the fortress age, and he will get access to cast laws, which do fine versus H2 units. And yeah, Japan is nowhere near aging, so probably we'll see Japan staying H2 even longer.
Yeah, now
and try to get some naggies in.
Sending the 600 coin, I guess he might be intending to use that to get up. But oh man, Killer looks he's got so much map control. I mean, okay, he's lost a TP there. In the meantime, let's see what we're missing over here. Sorry, we're missing AgeOfKiller with a very opportunist raid here, sending in the crossbows, recognizing that Ezad's mass is in the middle of nowhere, and he sent his crossbows. I tell you what, I mean, AgeOfKiller has spent a long time with his crossbows and in melee during this series. Crossbows again meleeing, but
yeah, micro god.
But yeah, now sending it in. It wasn't that effective. Didn't really manage to idle his opponent. The meter got the yummies now on top of this stable. And over here, we've got some pikes getting on top of the Japanese explorer. Tell you, we've got action all over the map here. So that stable's going to drop down. In the meantime, AgeOfKiller's decided to pull back his little raid there. Well, I guess we'll focus on this.
2 organ guns.
Oh, I know there are oh, there they are in the north. I mean, I was seeing the XP gathered from those kills, but didn't spot the organs. There they are. Yeah, and are they going to get?
It's going to go down. Yeah.
Ooh, another big volley into those Ashigarus. And
yeah, organ guns are weak unit.
Yes, AgeOfKiller calling for the buff to organ guns. I think we've heard that before, but I think to be fair, the one thing that they are weak on is siege. Very, relatively weak siege and low hit points compared to a falconet, but when they get hold of infantry.
It's an anti-infantry artillery piece. It's like leather cannons, kinda, but in a bit better.
Yeah.
So yeah, siege is not their main purpose.
Right. Like they're like leather cannons on speed. Like just when they get going, unbelievable. But look at this. I mean, even if you just take a look at this mini map here, the map control that AgeOfKiller's got just looks very impressive. I mean, the scores are identical, so I mean the scores are very even, but loads and loads of map. In the meantime, Ezad has clicked up, so he's going up with a golden pavilion, almost completed aging up here. Some pikes there. Now that shrine population up to 10 shrines, so definitely improving. Anything changed to kind of change your opinion on the tempo of this game? Does it look even to you, or you still like AgeOfKiller's position?
I still like AgeOfKiller's position. He took a good trade with the organ guns on the infantry mass of Ezad, and but yeah, Japan is gonna get to the fortress stage now. So he's gonna get access to flaming arrows, but we'll see how Portuguese react, because it's getting to the point where Port Seeker starts to get rolling. He's producing wheels out of 3 TCs. He's still on 3 TP stagecoach, and could easily afford some coverings.
And so let's try and make sure we show all the action going on over here. We've got a militiaman pop from AgeOfKiller. He's definitely outmassing his opponent here, but he's not gonna. He wants to get back. He's losing plenty of units now to those militiamen. In the meantime, AgeOfKiller over here sieging this shrine. Shrine population dramatically decreasing again, down to 8 shrines. About to go 7 shrines. Yikes! As Japan, you don't want to have 7 shrines after 12 minutes. That's definitely not ideal, but doing pretty well over here with this fight. But he's now popped. Ezad's popped, which is... You don't normally see Japan get popped.
That's really unfortunate, because he's got so many resources in the bank, and he was training Yakusame as well, and I really think you want to complete this batch with all the resources he had, but he's gonna drop some shrines at home, I believe, because both his heroes are dead, I assume.
Yeah, I think you're right, and oh man, I mean, it's Japan. It's like watching Sweden get popped. If you're Japan or Sweden and you get popped, it like normally means you're not in good shape. And yeah, now sending the 2 cherry orchards. 4 Mamelukes popping out for AgeOfKiller there. Go back to his. I missed that cue. And if they get on, oh, there's a lot of Yumi archers and flaming arrows, and these Mamelukes are gonna get on top of the flaming arrows, and
yeah, that's a big problem for Japan. Eventually he's gonna clean the Mamelukes, I feel like, but there's still the organ guns that he needs to focus with his flaming arrows, otherwise they're gonna shred through these Ashigarus.
Yeah, he's still got 3. I mean, he did really well there. He managed to escape with 3 Mamelukes, just one of them on really low health, but they're now on top of the Yumi archers. Over there, you're not missing much. You'll be seeing on your screen some alerts, but you know, I think it's just explorers sieging. This is. I mean, is this over? I mean, what does Japan do now? How many shrines does he have? He's got 7 shrines. It's ooh.
Yeah, it's looking quite good for Portuguese.
Wow, those Mamelukes really did a good job. He's still got a Mameluke after all of this time. I mean, got very good value out of the Mamelukes.
Yeah, more Ashigarus popping, but there are some Cazadors and veteran musketeers as well, and still 1 organ gun.
Is that, yeah, that's, he's not made, that organ gun has, yeah, that's spent a long time there. Now idle time being used for Ezad. 44 villagers compared to 52 for AgeOfKiller, but AgeOfKiller's also got those 3 stagecoach TPs. I think we just saw 4 villagers drop there for Japan as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and Ezad calls GG. Tough. Wow. Oof. I tell you what, it feels like we've had a lot of very quick games in this series. I mean, it's not been a clean sweep, but it's not been a long stream either. I mean, they've been very dominant, some of these performances. I mean, what went wrong for Ezad there? I mean, what is there something he should have done better? Did the AgeOfKiller win that, or did Ezad lose that? I mean, what could have been done better?
I feel like Ezad aged quite late, to be fair, but I don't know. Also, he took a bad trade sieging that stable when there were 2 organ guns on the field, so he lost most of his infantry, and yeah, I mean, Ports didn't make any massive mistake. I guess the 8 bros was questionable because they just didn't do anything, but beside that, pretty strong play overall.
Well, all right, I'm going to update that score. Well done so far to Breeze, up to 3-1, but we know that Ezad's a very talented player and, you know, fully capable of winning 3 games in a row. Like, it's not at all impossible, so it's very much not over. All still to play for as we go into what could be the final game, because it's now match point. I mean, could still have 4 more games tonight, could have 1, so We don't know if it's still a long night to go or if we're drawing towards the end. But I'm going to quit that game there. Hopefully, a mod's taken care of the predictions. And yeah.
Yeah. So, what are the remaining seed for AgeOfKiller?
So AgeOfKiller, he's not well. He's got Indians left, and what's his other civ? He's got. Hold on a second. Let's get this right. He's got Indians, and he's used Sweden, Spain. Oh, he's got Germany because he lost with Germany. So he's got Germany and India, right?
Yeah, and he has okay. Well, these are pretty good civs for the remaining of the maps. There's Pampas Sierras, I think, in this map pool. There's Alaska as well, so some really good India maps.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess if you're... I mean, one thing that we know is that Ezad is not going to give her... probably not going to give a water map to Breeze, but I mean, the issue that he's got here, if you're Ezad, is that if he wins this next game, then, I mean, AgeOfKiller is still going to get his opportunity to pick a water map. That being said, he has played... At least he's played Portugal and Spain, so, I mean... That's going to be a relief, I guess. I mean, it's actually not impossible. I'd normally say you want to keep water away from Breeze, but that being said, seeing as Ezad still has Portugal available, having used it as his power pick, and Breeze doesn't, maybe like Dakar's a good option for him, where Portugal will be very strong, or Alaska, where Portugal will be very strong.
Yeah, why not? Also, I have to keep in mind that that Breeze main civs is gone, and like India and Germany are not the greatest map for water booming.
All right, so that's my prediction is that we're going to see Alaska, Ezad going Portugal on Alaska, and I guess the only thing that Breeze would try Indian to respond. That's my guess. That's my guess. What do you reckon? Chance of that? Maybe.
That could be a thing. I think India and Dhaka would be quite good versus sports. We'll have to see.
We'll take a look. All right, here we go. And as usual, I'm completely wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Game 5 of this best of 7 series between AgeOfKiller and Ezad. This is the quarterfinal of the Global Championship for $5,000. And it's match point for AgeOfKiller, having a 3-1 lead. He spawns in the south of the map, playing an orange as India. And Ezad had the counter pick for this match, and having lost with Japan in the previous match, has gone again this match with Japan on Pampas Sierras. I mean... Do you think Ezad should have picked a water map just because he had the strongest water civs available? Or, I mean, this is obviously a great map for Japan. What do you make of it?
I think he's down 3-1 now, and I think he wants to play ports on one of Breeze maps pick, really. Something like that, and try to win this map on land with Japan. So I think his Sith pick is reasonable.
And generally, I mean, at the elite level of the game, India as a counter to Japan, is that? I mean, how does this matchup normally look at the elite level? How does India fare against Japan?
I think on this map it's quite even. I'm not sure. I've played it a lot with Haza, with Skirmisher as well, and it was always close no matter who won. And so yeah, I couldn't really tell who's favored. I think if Japan plays super accurate, then they should win. But yeah, it just feels really hard.
I mean, what are you expecting to see here from? I mean, again, I think the Japan's tactics are more obvious, but India's got, I guess, a few different directions it could take. I mean, what are you expecting AgeOfKiller to pull here? Sending distributivism, I think, which is the automatic first shipment for India. But what do you anticipate seeing as his strategy here?
think as India, you always want to go forward aggro fort and you know, try to put either some pressure on the Japanese base early on or be active on the map and siege shrines. So yeah, I think that's what India should do.
Yeah, I assume that's what we're going to see. Have a little look for these explorers, see if we can spot. So we've got some early shrining going on here for Japan. Have a little look and see how we're doing in the Yak Wars. Japan has got, Ezad's got 2 Yaks in his town center and 1 Yak over here. Well, sorry, Llama. I apologize. Llama by the shrine over here. And wow, AgeOfKiller doing really, really well collecting llamas with the 5. Obviously helped by having those 2 elephants running around the map doing that. Forward aggro, as predicted. Could have gone even more forward if he'd wanted, but I guess he's also taking this silver mine here with that placement, so definitely makes sense, and kind of dominating the middle of the map, depriving his opponent of shrining that hunt there as well.
Yeah, agreed. It's a really good aggro placement. One of his villagers just being retarded around the aggro fort and just refuses to build it or something, but...
I miss that. Yeah, wait, did that villager just refuse to join in?
Yeah, he was walking around the aggro fort and then stopped and then, yeah, nah, I'm just gonna go back home. Not feeling like working today, mate, sorry.
I actually wonder if Breeze shift clicked and doesn't realize that that village,
could be a thing.
That villager, that's like the DE shift click. Oh man.
Yeah, especially on big buildings like that, they'll tend to path around it before they actually start building, and which is sometimes annoying.
Meantime, elephants now chasing down Nanny Ezad, and yeah. Ezad aging with the Toshogu's shrine, which is, I mean, obviously to be expected. And hopefully we can see Ezad get a few more shrines done in this match than the previous one, which was obviously never really managed to get many shrines up at all in the last game. But expecting to see a little bit better here. And I mean, we're going to see a lot of Indian aggression, I'm guessing, early on here, unless you kind of would call it any different. Looks like those age ups going almost simultaneously. India slightly behind, but not meaningfully.
Yeah, agreed. Should be a pretty decent age of time for India as well. 440 with only 1 villager on the aggro fort is pretty good. Brembo pointing in the chat that he sent 2 VOs forward just in case Japan tries to block the aggro, which is actually true, yeah. And I think you should consider as India.
Oh, that's a really, that just never even crossed my mind. I guess it's one of those things that, like, you just probably don't see outside the top tournament play or the top kind of 20 or 30 players on the ladder to like literally be even taking into account, like, you know, blocked aggro fort placements. So really, really interesting to see. Now foreign logging coming in from the Indian players. They're going to have really, really good wood economy through the whole game. And
yeah, so going for the greedy approach, which is train a few units, but most likely you're going to get a batch of 2 sepoys and go for any kind of meat shipment, you know.
Consulate going down for the Japanese player here. So interesting that India's basically, he's not going too aggressive, is he? He is trying to you know, also, you know, focus on his economic build. One sepoy being trained there from AgeOfKiller, the 1 sepoy batch.
Yeah, he's just going greedy with market upgrades meanwhile, and gonna go for the 300 export as well. So after the wood recall, yeah, you're usually lacking a little bit of wood. So yeah, he's chopping quite a lot right now. He's getting like 800 wood per minute.
Wow.
So.
He's got, yeah, a few sepoys now. Jeez. Let's look at that pathing from that sepoy just dancing around the silver mine. Gonna take down that.
Yeah,
100
as
XP.
Japan, you should be worried right now because you've seen nothing so far like this. No shrines being pressured, and So yeah, and that's what is being concerned right now. So he's gonna patrol around this aggro fort with his monk to see if there is any pressure incoming, because you know this could be like a consulate rush timing potentially, even though India is going super greedy. But obviously you don't know that until you scout it. So
I mean, how's he doing? That 6 shrines doesn't feel very. Considering he's got no pressure on him at all, doesn't feel like a lot of shrines.
yeah, that's definitely not a lot of shrines, and he's training 5 clubs from.
Oh, there you go. I mean, that's
as well.
He's basically, this is the exact opposite of what you typically see here. Japan is the aggressor, so he's really
he's gonna push. Yeah, and I think this is a pretty good play because he's got 5 ashes, doesn't Gav, he's got 5 club for siege and quite a decent mass of Yumi to deal with the infantry as well. And it doesn't look like Breeze was training any units.
No, he's got 3, just the 3 sepoys, so that's... The fort's gonna go down like pretty quickly with the
still gonna take a while, but yeah. Eventually it should go down. It could be Ottoman Minutemen to buy some time and perhaps send 5 sepoys, and yeah, the Ottoman Minutemen being called.
Yeah, being pulled, and actually manages to get quite a nice snare on momentarily with the explorers. Both explorers are dropping there.
Yeah, that's a nice 90 XP for the Japanese player. I think he should fight these Minutemen at this point. Yeah, that's what he's gonna do.
Yeah, he's one-shotting them
and
now
go back because, well, this Minuteman basically bought AgeOfKiller a solid 45 seconds, so now he knows that Japan is investing a lot into H2, so I really think India should stop mixing Gurkhas now and try to hold on to this aggro fort and play H2.
And just as you say that, we pan south and find 5 Gurkhas for AgeOfKiller, so as usual, getting those predictions spot on. But just here you're seeing the power of that aggro fort, just how much just time and energy the aggro fort soaks up. I mean, if India doesn't have an aggro fort, all of this time is basically spent idling the Indian player and around the TC, but instead we're just totally focused on that aggro. Yeah,
and Ezad is exploring a bit of export right now, so I'd love to see him getting the military rickshaw and, you know, perhaps add a stable as well. Minutemen being called from the town center. Yeah, I don't know, it seems like a bit of a waste of resources. Perhaps gonna pay off if Ezad doesn't pay attention, because there's 3 Ottoman assault as well to snare all these units, so...
I mean, even in terms of just I mean, the Japanese players invested completely in its military, whereas AgeOfKiller's kind of boomed behind this, and it still looks like AgeOfKiller's got the much better mass. I mean,
oh, for Sawas as well, and this is big trouble for Ezad.
The Gurkhas just on the back line shredding as well. Oh my god, look at just how quick these units are dropping. And he didn't even scratch the aggro. I mean, the aggro lost only half its hit point. All of that was to try and take down an aggro, which basically only lost half its hit points. And he's got so many Gurkhas behind this.
Yeah, the Sawas are gonna go down, but most of the Yumis are dead as well, so... More reinforcements, so all in all, a pretty good trade for India, I feel like. But I have to keep in mind, he doesn't have access to any set of Minutemen anymore. So the aggro defense is going to be a bit harder.
But we've got 7 shrines, though. I mean, oh my god. I mean, basically, Ezad's shrine population for both of these Japanese games combined is still less than you'd want to see kind of from one game.
Yeah, finally getting his second barracks, but yeah, now his eco is pretty decent, 31 villager. But yeah, he needed this second military building earlier because he's floating quite a lot of resources and he desperately needs some units here. Oh, stable it's going to be. And sending 600 coin as well.
but there's just so many Gurkhas. Villagers now beginning to get picked off. Loads of idle time, I think. Well, sorry, they're not. Take that back. He's not actually idle yet. He's got them all around the cherry orchard, but he's about to be idled with these sowers running in, and he calls GG.
Yeah, yeah. 5 nags wouldn't be enough. So yeah, this is.
Well, I mean,
yeah, congratulations, AgeOfKiller.
I mean, first of all, like,
series.
well done to both players. I mean, obviously we know that Ezad's a very, very talented player, very, very good player, and I mean, got very, very deep in this tournament. Quarterfinals is obviously a great performance. I mean, I guess he'll be disappointed to have lost 4-1 in this. I mean, if taking it the game was unbalanced, I mean, did AgeOfKiller just play like out of his skin? Did Ezad have a slightly off day? I mean, what's your kind of take home from that from this series as a whole?
I think the start was quite bad for Ezad. He basically picked a matchup loss on game 1, so he gave a 3 Sweden win to AgeOfKiller in game number 1, and yeah, not adapting super well into the Spanish build order on Manchuria as Haudenosaunee, and try to come back to 2-1, but yeah, AgeOfKiller, to me, it felt like he took better decision and followed stronger game plans overall. So pretty deserved, in my opinion.
Yeah, fair enough. And I mean, I see both players now in the chat, so it's nice to have you both here. Thanks for kind of watching the game and not giving anything away in the chat. But you know, it looks like from what I saw at least going on, that this was a game played in like really good spirits between both the players. I think both, like Ezad, obviously, like both very, very good players, and AgeOfKiller now going on to the semi-final, and this is the first semi-final that we know the whole semi-final now. H versus AgeOfKiller. I mean, talk about a box office match. I mean, H is obviously, I mean, I think unanimously the best player in the game right now. But on the form that we've seen, what do you reckon? I mean, is H going to be worried? Is he going to look at this and like AgeOfKiller is going to, be expected to give him a good run for his money here?
I don't know. I don't want to be mean, but I just feel like H is on another level in this tournament as anybody else. So I really expect him to win, but hopefully for the show, I hope AgeOfKiller will prepare some good stuff for us to watch.
Yeah, I don't even think that's mean. I think that, like, I mean, he's just the best player in the game right now. So I think it's all right to say that H is.
Yeah, I mean, it's all I have to say, really. Yeah.